you get started. Number one, you go to sam.gov, www.sam.gov. Even if your business is not in the United States, it doesn't matter. I believe you will get what's called like an N cage. I think it's N as in Nancy cage. And don't worry, sam.gov has done all the work for you. They have a whole checklist if your business is not headquartered in America. Because something else to keep in mind, y'all, we have loopholes in America where you can get different tax benefits by having your company headquartered in another country. So there's a lot of famous companies who are not headquartered in America, just so you're aware of that. So you can register your business, you go on sam.gov. Is it a pain in the butt? Is it going to take you some time? Yes, but you have me. That's why I shared the Facebook group. That's why I have the YouTube channel. Because again, when people start putting up barriers, it's because there's gold back there. And if you're able to get through the sam.gov process, you're going to be able to get through the, hey, can you guys get me 20,000 cases of powdered milk? And you're going to be like, of course I can. When do you need it? And these are real things. This happened with one of my students. Bureaus of Prison asked him for powdered milk, butter, and margarine. And this is not his area of focus. And he's been in this industry like 5-6 months maybe by now. So sam.gov is where you start. You're going to apply for a UEI. If possible, I would do SAM on a tablet, on the window, on a browser, something like that. And if you need help, please reach out to me. sam.gov, you're going to apply for a UEI. They're going to ask you a ton of questions, and here's what you must have. If you are in America, please have a copy of your IRS EIN number. Number 2, the name on your EIN IRS form must match what you enter. You need to put in the same address. Do not use some bootleg, I'm sorry, y'all, no judgment, but please don't use some bootleg, made up virtual address. Government's going to kick it back, y'all. You need a physical address or a virtual office that's in a real building, not some made up address that Google has. And I say this because for real, like it will be kicked back. Everything must match. So I had one woman I'm mentoring. She had a spelling error on her IRS form. Okay, you got to enter it in incorrectly. You can do a DBA, doing business as, it all must match. I'm just giving you these tips because if not, you're going to face even more issues with SAM. They're going to ask you to upload these documents. I always advocate that you get a business license. If I had one here, I'm in my Michigan home right now, I would show you an example of it. I think it's really important to get a business license or a business tax ID. They're usually like $100. Every city and state in America differs. So I'm just speaking for US right now, okay? The more evidence you can show them that you're a legit business, the better. For those of you not in the US, you will go to a website and you're going to create an N cage, I believe is what it's called. Sam.gov has outlined all of this for you as far as what you need to do. And when you go to sam.gov, you're going to go to entity registration. This is for everyone, regardless of where you're located. They also have a frequently asked questions area. They have a phone number. They have an email address. They're really cool people. And the best part is, if you don't get the answer you want, call back again until you talk to somebody who gives you the answer you want. It's like any other call center. So they have an entire checklist. It's like an Adobe download, and the way it's set up. When you go to sam.gov, entity registration, entity checklist, and it walks you through it. So for those of you who are not headquartered in the US, it says in cage code. If your entity is based outside of the US, you must go to the N-Cage request tool and request an N-Cage code before starting in sam.gov. As soon as you get that code, then you continue with the checklist. And then they share with you what they need from you. And I promise you, it's way easier than what people have made it to be, and all of those things. It's again about, if you want the pot of gold, you got to put in the effort. It's easy to be like, this is hard, or I couldn't upload my ID. Okay, I don't tell you. I mean, I've been in this space for 15 years, and it's not because I'm cute and have normally pretty curly hair, but it's because I just put up with it. I understand it. I ebb and flow, right? Like I'm a boxer. So yes, you can be outside of the US and register. They're cool with that. They don't have problems with that. What they have problems with are people who don't want to persevere or listen to instruction. That is not going to lead to a good career in government contracting. Okay, Once you get through the first part of SAM, you're going to get a UEI, and they may kick it back. I have something registered right now since 2017, and they're giving me problems. So it's just like, it is what it is, y'all. So then they're going to say, hey, you've been assigned this UEI, you get excited, but that's only the first part. Then they're going to ask you more questions. And this is for people inside of the United States. Outside of the United States, I'm not sure. So inside of the United States, then they'll say, please complete these steps to get a CAGE code. Your CAGE code is a unique identifier, and that means, blah, now you can bid on government contracts as a prime. The thing that's interesting about the federal government, at any time, you can be a subcontractor. I could hire any one of you right now to work on any of our government contracts. I literally have people in Egypt and in the UK who support some of our government contracts. None of these people are in SAM.gov. None of these people are American, but they all support these contracts. So you can do this as a sub. As a prime, meaning you have the contract, you must get the CAGE code. From there, it's to your question of how do you find these simplified acquisitions? How do you find these things? And I equate it to hunting. I'm not an avid hunter. I've never been hunting, but I think it's just the best kind of analogy, and it's not meant to offend anyone who's not into hunting. It's just, hey, I think it's something we all can relate to. And that is, you have to figure out, well, where are the deer? So right now here in beautiful Michigan, it's deer season. And so where are the deer? How are you going to get the deer? Where are we going for the deer? What kind of deer? And so you can go to sam.gov. You can go to Unison. You can go to NICO. You can go to Fed Connect. There's a ton of places to go to find the opportunities, the bid, the deer. But if you're trying to hunt a deer and all you have is just yourself and your bare hands, listen, I'm not trying to say you can't take down a deer, but the likelihood of you getting a deer with just your bare hands, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be quite low. So you have to have the right tool, the right weapon. You have to understand things about deer. There's so much that goes into it. And that's the big piece for government contracting and why I don't push for, you got to understand proposals, because you need to understand the bid busters. You need to figure out, is this opportunity for you? Can you win the opportunity? What do they really want? All of this before, oh, I'm going to write a proposal. Oh my God, I got to hire somebody. Oh my God, calm it down. Calm it down. I get it. For me, it's like looking at men on dating apps back in the day. I got a man though. And, I get all excited, like, oh, he's so cute. And I can picture the wedding and everything and our kids. It's like, well, you got to roll it back, girl. You haven't even met this man or heard his voice. And so that's how I am with these contracts, is like, you have to go through the bid busters and really understand, what do these people really want? What's really going on? Because I promise there is an abundance of opportunities, tons of them. And you don't need 2 years of experience. You don't need experience, and you don't have to start small. You can out the gate win $1 million contract. The size of the contract does not dictate your ability to win it. It's whether it's low risk, medium risk, high risk, and how they're grading you like a teacher. It really is that. Marcus, for instance, I helped him bid on a contract, 1.9 million. Now, we didn't win it because it was lowest cost. The winning bid was 1.4 million. They didn't evaluate experience. They didn't care that Marcus was a bartender 5 months prior. They just wanted trees trimmed for over the course of a year. So in a nutshell, if you have a business headquartered outside of the United States, sam.gov has a plethora of information. Don't give up with sam.gov. Call, email, get a ticket until you get the right answer. There's a woman who is a very good friend of mine and does work for me, and she's been in the middle of this process for about 4 months, right? And finally, she was like, Kizzy, I got my UEI. I called again, and this woman took care of it, because it's meant to help, in a way, keep you out. Because if you can't get through the sam.gov process, then how in the heck are you going to deliver to the Marines fencing products? How are you going to do that? So these are things to think about. Next is the bidding, and that is going through the different opportunities and realizing you got to understand them. The third part of that is just realizing that, there's a lot of different options out there, a lot of different areas for you to kind of go into, and you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to have experience. It's about, what area do you like? What area do you want to get paid for? What areas are going to bring you the profit that you're looking for? And I'll kind of close with this. There's a gentleman who I interviewed by the name of Jerry. He's 76, I believe. He's real cool. He's in Arkansas, and he sells $10 million of products to the VA. After the call, he was like, Kizzy, and I met him in person recently. He's like, Kizzy, we get most of our stuff from Walmart. I was like, oh my goodness, this is nuts. And so, but at the same time, I know his profit margins can be razor thin. But when you're making 10 million, that's a good life. That's a way for you to generate and create wealth.